Hey YouTube, how's it going? Um, Welcome back to Doodle Log 3. Um, just gonna get right into it. So, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I I'm just living it up today, having a day. I just absorbed an entire pot of pasta because the thing I hate about okay, so I know that there are like serving sizes on the back of anything that is food, but like when it comes to like pasta and how it comes in a bag or in a box or a bag, you know, um, I don't feel like there's a very intuitive way of telling how much pasta you're gonna get once it all cooks. Cause like it's such like a indeterminate amount, if that's the right word that I'm trying to use. Um, like I feel like you measure it in terms of like little bunches, like this much pasta, versus like the whole box of pasta. Like I I don't know if this is the amount of pasta that I should be consuming, and I'm not gonna like weigh it out or like measure it according to the box. And like the box doesn't give you like, it doesn't say like, I don't know, it doesn't say like five noodles, 5 strands of pasta. It just kind of, well, I'll be honest, I didn't read on the back what it said, but I'm gonna assume it doesn't give you an exact count of like 4 pastas equals 1 serving. Like, all I'm trying to say is I just ate a lot of pasta. More pasta than I probably should have had. I did that thing where you open an entire thing of sauce, like an entire can of sauce, and you don't think you're gonna make any more pasta anytime soon, so you just eat all of the sauce with all of that pasta. So like I'm pretty sauced and pasta. I don't know what this is, but I'm pretty pasta sauced right now. That and like potatoes. I made some potatoes too, because when I make food, like I don't know, I'm very indecisive. So I'm like, I'll have some of this, but I'd also want to have this, and I don't want to wait until tomorrow to have it. So I'm like, I'll make both of them, and we'll see which one I want to eat more when I have them done. So right now I just have I have no more pasta because I just ingested all of it, but I have like a ridiculous amount of little tiny potatoes that I roasted sitting on my kitchen counter because I'm full, and I ate like a couple because I went through the trouble of making it. I think that I am at least gonna try them, but now they're just sitting there. I'll probably put them in like a container for tomorrow. But long story short, too much pasta, not gonna eat potatoes. You know? Oops. I put that PNG of like that stock image of a pasta plate just because, I don't know, thought it'd be fun to have a reference of the pasta. pasta. Oh man, that pasta's sitting in my stomach like a rock now. I wonder how many times that I've said that word now, because it feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. Excuse me. All right. I was trying to listen to music when I started up this video, and turns out having somebody sing into my ear and also trying to make commentary is not an easy thing, nor is it really a possible thing for me, it would seem. Potato. And I have this thing with music where it's like I don't like sitting in silence when I'm working, but at the same time, like, I get way too into music. Or I'm not even like into it in the sense that I'm like singing along, but like if there's a noise, I'm listening to that noise. And if there's no noise, I'm not listening to that noise. Ew, gross. And his arm is funky. I'm trying to erase less in my sketching, just because, I mean, let a mistake sit, let just, at the end of the day, what does it matter if this is all I'm producing? Like, it's not a finished piece, nor is it going to be. I mean, maybe later, for me, with sketchbooks, I like the idea that someday I'll turn them into something, but when I'm putting something down, it's kind of just whatever. There's really no stakes here. Other than am I having fun, or at the very least, am I just like getting something on paper? Because if nothing else, this is just mileage. This is like pen mileage. I can decide if I like it later or not, or if it's worth anything to me personally. I'm really, excuse me, sorry, like all this pasta is just like pushing everything else up. But gross. Sorry. I like this potato though. He's got some swag to him. I don't really know what else to put on him, however. He's just Spud. Which is kind of, I feel like, the most boring name I could give him. I feel like that would be anybody's first attempt at designing a potato character. They'd call him Spud. Although I don't know many more names for potatoes. There's got to be a bunch of different varieties. There's like little potatoes, like big potatoes. Itty bitty potatoes. One of these days I'll complete a thought and it won't be. I don't even know what I was going to try and say, but one of these days I'll complete a thought. I think I think that I messed myself up. Oh my god, I actually don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh my god. I'm getting just lost in the sauce right now. The pasta sauce. I do wonder how YouTubers I've seen like control their ramblings. I mean, there's probably some scripts, but you know, even then, like how do you stop yourself from just ad-libbing the whole time and funneling all of your words into complete nonsense? You know what I was gonna say? I remember what I was gonna say now. I was gonna say like I think I shoot myself in the foot when I speak because I'm always playing a game of like yes and with myself where I never have a complete thought. It's always something that I allow to be like, and this could possibly be that something that follows next, or there could always, I never end a sentence. It's always my brain is one run-on sentence after the other. Because if I leave it like that, like I just did, where I just say it's one sentence after another, it feels like I've left something unresolved. So I feel like I have to keep talking to I don't know, to make it not weird, to make it not seem like I just gave up on my sentence and left people waiting. This guy's full of something. I don't know what he's full of. I put that picture of the stock image of pasta just because I was like, it would be a good talking point and maybe I can make drawings from it. And I guess this is a drawing inspired by it, but it doesn't really include my pasta stuff. Pasta. I had a friend over to my apartment, and I have a bad habit of losing track of things when I'm speaking to somebody. And so I was making them dinner, and I was making them, I was making pasta again. And the thing is, like, when you have a small pot that you're cooking things in, especially noodles, like you have to like stir it around, you have to make sure all of the noodles are submerged. But when you get distracted easily, you just put it in and then you walk away and you let it just sit. So I put the noodles in and I walked away, and then when I came back like 5 minutes later, half of the noodles were cooked almost all the way through, and then half of them were just like rigid, and just sticking out of the pot. I kind of fixed it. Like I went back and shoved them all in, but it was kind of like having half done and half overdone noodles by the end of that. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. I get distracted a lot. It is hard to finish a thought. And sometimes when I say that, I wonder about ADD or ADHD, but part of me almost wonders what if it's just a cool little quirk of being me? What if nobody else has this weird thing that I do? And that's kind of just cool. That's kind of whatever. I don't need medication for it. Because it's just, for better or for worse, just a facet of my existence, really. When I have a lot of trouble with it when it comes to designing clothes and stuff like that for characters because when I do that, my headphones just plugged up that weird. What was I gonna say? When I'm designing like characters and designing clothes and things like that, I go really simple because I don't have a lot of practice with drawing clothes, as you can see, naked. Um, and so when I do it, I tend to leave them fairly like plain. Boop, boop, boop. But now that I'm a bit more aware that like patterning is a thing and texture and all that fun stuff, the one pattern that I fall back on is just stripes. But for me, like, it's actually really hard to see stripes. Like when I'm looking at like a striped shirt, if it has like thin and close together stripes, my eyes start to bug out a little bit. Like I actually like, I can't look at it for very long because it starts to make me wig out. This isn't so bad, but I've had mattresses. I've had like comforters and things like blankets that are all really thin stripes, and it starts to move. Like it's kind of like when the TV is static, and it just kind of floats around the screen a lot. I feel like you're not a real artist unless you make noises while you're drawing that kind of help and guide what you're drawing. So like the little murals, you know, I don't even call them stripes. But even looking at these is kind of bugging me out. These are a little too close together for my liking. I never know what to do with pets. Excuse me, sorry. I don't like burping. Burping's gross. I don't know if I've already said this before, but like it's just like farting out of your face. And it sounds gross, and if you're unlucky enough, it smells gross to be in the blast radius. I got a belt now. Excuse me. I'm recording, right? Oh yeah, I am. I am. It's only been 18 minutes. I haven't hit my like. I've been wondering about like, do I put like a time limit on these things? Because I like the idea of just filling out an entire page. I get kind of close, but. I don't know if I should like upload like short form stuff or like just keep it at this long form stuff. I mean, it's kind of rambly, kind of whatever. And I guess I don't really want it to be anything else. Like I'm not really making like I hardly call this content. This is just me venting. I'm just surprised that I've had anybody listen at all lately. Even if it's like one person or two people. I don't know. It'd be nice to relate to some people. There was a person who responded and commented on my videos. I feel bad that I can't remember their YouTube name, but they're cool. They seem nice. Seem friendly. So if you're watching this, hi. Maybe that's like a child's. Whatever. Who cares? I ain't gotta do anything for anybody. Um, I also have this little puzzle piece up here. I was playing it was Star Wars. I was playing the Jedi Survivor. I think that was. I think that's the one. I don't know if that's the name of the sequel to it but it's the one with the redheaded guy from Shameless. And I'm playing the first one, and right now I've got it where I had got it like a couple years ago. You know, it was like on sale or something. And I got to a certain point in it, and I had this difficulty set to like normal player difficulty, and I was making my way through, and by this certain point, I suck. I suck at those kinds of games where like if it gets difficult to a certain point, I just give up because I don't really have the energy to get good at learning how to play a video game anymore. I did when I was a kid because that was all that I would do. But now, if I'm bad at a game, like and it requires, I don't know, like training on my part in any sense, I just walk away from it super quickly. I mean, because I wanna draw more than I wanna play video games lately, and so if I was just gonna mess around, I'd be doing this instead. But anyway, so I was playing this game a couple of years ago, and I got to a point where I didn't care anymore, and I stepped away. But I'm on this thing where like I kind of wanna, cause I still get this urge to play and like buy video games, even if I don't play them that much. Like there's something, I don't know if it's like a hoarder mentality, like a collector mentality, but I see a game that I want to have played or want to have and enjoy someday, and I'm like, I'll just get it for later. I'll just put it on the backlog, put it on my shelf, and say I'll get to it eventually when I feel like it. And right now I have like a couple hundred games that I will never play in my life, but I've spent at least double that amount of money on. And what I'm trying to do is that to not buy any more video games, I'm trying to play through the ones that are like completable, like as far as like have a story, and just get through them anyway. How? Not like in a completionist way where it's like there are these people that will play the video game to its like end, and that just doesn't seem fun at all to me. But I want to play a game to its natural conclusion. Like, it's like the story says it's over, so you're done. You can go in for extra content if you want, but really, like, once the story's done, the story's done. So I'm trying to do that with my video games, where like I'll find the story-based ones, and I'll just run through them relatively quickly. And right now I'm going through because I had just finished this one game called Vanquish from like my childhood, where I was playing that when I was a kid. I only ever played the demo, but I played that demo like 100 times over because I knew I couldn't buy the game because I think it was rated M, and I was like 12. And I just remember like never being able to get past like the demo boss, and maybe that's because they scaled it super difficult, or maybe that's because I was just not that great as a kid playing video games. But I got that again recently, and I was like, I'm just gonna finish this thing because it's a thing I remember from my childhood. And lo and behold, it took me like 4 hours to finish, and that felt good for a minute. But then I was like, oh well, I can't buy any more video games. That's when I made my pact more or less, where I was like, I have to play through my video games if I'm going to buy new video games. So long story short, I got to my Star Wars game again, and last time it was like the difficulty was like kicking my butt that I had it on, and I said to myself, you know what, this thing has a difficulty changer, and I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone other than that I finished this game. So I dropped it to the easiest setting, and I've just been plowing through the game, just been like blowing through it. The only issue though with like reducing difficulty is that you it's difficulty for combat. It's difficulty for just like the simple stuff, like the puzzles. I'm really bad at puzzles. Like stupid bad at puzzles. Like I think it's a mix of lacking the patience and awareness. Like if something's not obvious, it goes straight over my head. Like I have no real ability to perceive these little clues, and unless it's like glowing, and even then, I don't know. I have trouble noticing that too, even to that extent. So right now, I'm at this point where like I've been blowing through combat, and I've been blowing through a lot of parts of the games, like stuff that would probably take me like multiple sessions. I'm doing in like an hour, sit down, just because I don't have to worry about any of the fighting. I'm just like jumping around, and honestly, it's a pretty fun way to play, even if it's like a casual way to play. Like the point of like playing a Star Wars video game is that you're like a Jedi and that you're good at these things. Like you shouldn't have trouble destroying people, but you sure do have trouble doing puzzles if you're not good at them. Puzzies and riddies. My sister really likes listening to podcasts of a certain variety. I don't really know how to describe them, but there's this one called what's it called? I was about to say Mabim Bam, but that is not it. I like that one. That one's maybe it's a little basic, but well, I don't even like that one that much anymore. I like the animatics that go to that, the little animations and stuff. Those are pretty great. By like Louis Zong and Gio the Bio. But my sister would listen to. My God, I have no idea what it's called. Long story short, it's like a riddle game show, and they've been using this thing, like the terms like it's like puzzles and riddles, but it's like puzzies and rizzies, I think. And honestly, like the concept of the show is fun. Where they're solving puzzles and riddles, but it gets to the point where you're like, oh yeah, this is just an improv podcast where they just do bits throughout rather than actually do puzzles and riddles. Like they don't solve them; they just present them for the sake of it being funny. And I'm like, I want to hear the freaking puzzles, man. I want to hear you actually try. But maybe that's just me. I like a little bit of resolution in my puzzles. If I can't solve them, I want somebody else to, at the very least. Give me the satisfaction of knowing what the right answer was. Excuse me, sorry. Mm-hmm. That's not a puzzle shape anyone's ever had. Mm-hmm. My dad will do this thing where he'll I think it's in the same vein, where he'll read the last page in a book to see if he'll read the last chapter in a book before he reads the whole book, to see if he'll want to have read the whole book, like to see if it was like worth it in the first place. And I feel like that's kind of me in puzzles and riddles. I'm like, I like to know the answer before I even bother to solve it myself. I don't want to put all that time and effort into it myself. And I'm worried that this is like revealing me as like an impatient and like and like pudding brained kid, which in all fairness I might very well be. The amount of time I spend watching like YouTube shorts, and honestly I do that and I don't feel like I do until I look at it. I'm like, oh my god, I've watched like 4 hours. I the so I pretty much just use Apple products. Like I have my MacBook and my iPhone, and the thing about that is that they make you feel bad by telling you how much screen time you consume in a given day, and then they give you a report at the end of the week. And yeah, I'm hitting like 8 hours of like consuming YouTube content a lot of the time, and I'm like, I don't think that's a normal amount of content to be consumed. I hope that I haven't been just speaking into my hand that whole time. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear me. Person that is or is not there. Oh man, I don't even know what this puzzle piece looks like. Yeah, that's it. It's a little long, but whatever. You know, I think about these doodles and I'm like, I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's correct. And I wonder if I should work this way in like a professional capacity, like at school and things, when I do go back. Like, should I just like get out the stupid idea in any way, shape, or form, and then later on, like come back in and actually refine it? Like, because it doesn't have to have good anatomy or good anything really, as long as the idea is there. It turned out much more middle-aged than I thought he would. What if he's got those zipper pants? What if these were actually longer pants? Or shorter pants? Yeah, longer shorts, but yeah, I don't know how to draw zippers. Whatever, get out of here. That makes sense to me. And at the end of the day, isn't that what matters most? Not at all when it comes to business and art. Unless you want to be one of those types of artists. You know, I don't know what kind of artist I want to be really. Like, I say I want to be an animator, and I do think that's like the thing that I aspire to be in some way, because it's one thing to like draw something in like a still image and be like, okay, this is the still image of this guy, but to like actually make it like move around, or I don't know, have a reality in some way and like bring it to life, like that's that's what it's about, right? Like a still image can only be bought and sold or kept, but like a movie or like an animated short, that can be like appreciated and watched, and it can have I suppose they can all have meanings and messages, but I don't know, the way that animation can accomplish it feels a lot more holistic, I want to say. I talked to a teacher, and he had said to me, like, he gets to a point where he'll be drawing or sketching an idea, and he'll be like, oh, I'll just move on to like 3D software at a certain point, because what's the point in drawing it when he can like model it and I don't know, rig it, or because at that point you can actually just walk around this really cool thing you just made. And in that same vein is what I was talking about, like animation, where it's like you have so much more. There's so much more depth to the project than there was before. I think video games are really cool in that it's that same idea. Like if you animate things and if you give it like a mechanical ability to do something and act as something, if that sentence made any sense. Like that's a thing you can enjoy in an active way. Like it's not just there. It's not just present. It's an activity. It's art that is built to be interacted with. There was a video game I played a lot as a kid that I really love the look of and the idea of and how it plays. It's called Battalion Wars. That game was so fun. And it had a sequel, and it was on the Wii, and that was it. Like I don't think it'll ever see another version of it, and I haven't seen any other game that's built like it. But it was so cartoony, but it was also and like kind of arcadey, but it was like RTS mixed with action, and I don't know, man. Like it was such a unique blend of game and visual style, and I just remember really. I mean, I still love it. I still love looking at it and like the designs and the even though it's kind of does that thing where it there's this one game called Valkyria Chronicles, which is just World War II but with anime people and different-ish names. It's like it's not the United States of America. It's the Bubaited Bates of Barbarica. And they kind of did that same thing with this game. Although I will say, to its credit, like that game, Battalion Wars, never took itself as seriously as Valkyria Chronicles does. Like that game does it, and then like, goes full anime on it, which like I love that game too. That game's real fun. But there's like this cartooniness and ridiculousness that Battalion Wars kind of takes onto itself and just fully embraces, that I really love. And I think in some way, that's what I would want out of my art. I want it to be, because it can be cool and it can tell a story, and honestly it did. And not to say that it was like the best story, but it despite its cartoonishness and all those things, if it wanted to take itself seriously or do something with its style and with its animation, blah 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 blah. Like I remember, like there were definitely sequences of it, whether or not I felt like emotionally attached to it as a 5-year-old. I don't think I was 5. Maybe I was like 7 or 8, but I don't know. But like there were moments where I was like, this is friggin' awesome. Like stupid stuff and weird stuff can still be awesome. Can still be fun and funny and cool and I don't know, intimidating. I remember being really scared of like the bad guys in it because they were these gray German vampire dudes, and they killed the Russian dad. If anyone would ever know what that was, Tsar Borgi, I think is what his name was. I'm pretty sure they killed him. At least they made him drink blood. I don't remember. Or maybe they poisoned him. I don't actually remember. That was like where I quit the game because I got too scared. Also, they added timed missions, and I do not mess with timed missions, man. What was it? There was a what game is it? Dead Rising. I think that's what it is. Those games are timed, and I tried playing them for like 5 minutes, and watching that timer tick down freaks me out too much to actually have any fun playing those games. Oh my god, no. No. Oh, shoot. I tried not to. Sorry, I have an idea. I want to see if I can accomplish the idea. I know I said I'm trying to not, trying not to control Z, but sometimes you gotta for the sake of the thing you're trying to accomplish. No. Yeah, whatever this is, whatever that was. Pew, pew. Nah, that didn't be anything that I wanted it to be. That's alright. One of these days, I'll probably want to try hard on this. I just don't want to put in that effort and have my heart broken. Or just get bored. Like, I know that if I, since I'm not editing these, like, if I just release a full hour of me not talking, I think I'd get bored of, I wouldn't want to post that. Even if it was just for me, like, it wouldn't be satisfying to have that out there. I will admit, I have already watched a little bit of my first 2 things that I put out. Because, I don't know. I think it's fun to listen to yourself. If that's an egotist thing, I don't know. Probably is. Maybe next time I'll put on some royalty-free music in the background. Although maybe I'd get sick of that too. I remember I had a friend in like elementary school through high school, and we would hang out a lot. Like, he was my best friend, and we would hang out all the time on the weekends, like on Saturdays and Sundays. Just spend the whole day playing video games, and he would, I don't know, we'd put on music sometimes and sing along, and I was always like, man, this guy really can't sing, to the point where it would bother me, and I would like stop him from singing. But I would sing along, and I thought I was pretty good. But I listened to like, I don't know how many years ago. It was around high school time. Like, I had recorded myself because I was trying to learn how to play the piano, and I was like, I'll record myself singing to it too. And not only was my piano playing horrendous, my singing was awful. Like, I thought I was okay. Not that I had anybody to like back me up. I didn't sing to anyone or anything, but man, I just felt like a total jerk because I did not have it together at all. I think about that sometimes. Yeah. Putting all my stuff up here. Puzzly piece. That's kind of fun. I think I don't really want to pause this, and I just want to go use the bathroom, so I think I'm done. I'll zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that's my doodle log for the day. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Let me find where I get off of the screen. There we are. All right. Good night. See ya.